starting of my project, how advertisements aim towards men and women. And I'm going to be interviewing my first interviewer. Her name is Marissa. And I showed her this advertisement and seeing how she reacted to it. And here we go. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
How long did you smoke until you stopped?
Well, I started when I was 15. I smoked socially. It wasn't really I didn't smoke a lot. I smoked with friends when I was at work. So on and off, I would say, gosh, it's been a long time. 15, maybe 15, 20 years, off and on. I'm more of a social smoker, but I didn't really get too addicted to it.
Do you think any of the ads that I've shown you had any effect of you wanting to smoke?
Ads in magazines kind of, I know they influence younger people. They influenced me when I was younger. My influence was more of like my environment, people who I hung out with, people in my family who smoked. When I see someone smoking in a movie or on TV, that sometimes makes me want to smoke, like kind of as a trigger. But ads for me don't necessarily give me the urge to smoke, but they do kind of put the idea of which brands are better and which brands are more, prominent and more popular, and they kind of do that subconscious thing to you, and they make you think, oh, well, yeah, you're walking to the convenience store, you want to just go in quick and buy a pack. You kind of subconsciously think about Marlboro, Camel, and like all the name brands, because they're the ones that are mostly advertised.
Those are the name brands that you did smoke?
Yeah, I smoked Marlboro Lights, sometimes Camels, Lucky Strikes. Yeah, I guess I would smoke most of the name brands that you do see in the magazines. I never really thought about that. But I mean, it's mostly, a lot of people do smoke Marlboros and the Camels, because that's what's advertised. And some people would say, like some longtime smokers would say that they taste best. Well, it also had to do with product placement, like in the convenience stores and the liquor store. They place the more well-known brands like right in the middle of where they keep the cigarettes, and they're right there in front of you. That has to do a lot with advertising and big companies having an influence on marketing and the markets that sell these products. So a lot of the times you'll walk into a convenience store and the name brands are right there in front of you. You see it, you want to get in, you want to get out, so you sometimes grab the first thing that you see. But that was with me because I wasn't like a heavy smoker. But most heavy smokers that I know, they have their name brands that they have to get all the time because they are addicted to that particular brand. That's the particular brand that they choose and
they trust,
or they prefer as far as taste.
I'm like, oh, one other good question would be all the ads they have for anti-smoking. Do you think that has some effect of people wanting to try it, even though it's saying not to, because there's so many harsh chemicals in the cigarettes?
You're saying if anti-smoking
ads that they show on television, they show so many of those now. It's kind of like, oh, they're showing way too many of those. Does it make kids like, oh, I want to try that now just because there's so many?
Yeah, it kind of would make them curious, but also hopefully educate them and let them know that it's bad. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the MAD and anti-drug campaigns when I was a kid. I mean, those seem to work, the Say No to Drugs. That was big when I was a kid. So I knew kids reacted positive to that, and it helped a lot to kind of curb drug use with adolescents. So, I mean, it's hard to kind of say now that I'm older when I see those anti-smoking ads, I guess it could have an impact, but I quit smoking for a different reason because I started working in the medical industry. So that has more of an influence on me than the ads did at this point in my life. So, because I work with a lot of terminally ill cancer patients who had lung cancer or different kinds of cancers, and they were smokers. So that's what made me want to quit. But I do think it does help that it's good that there's campaigns going on for anti-smoking.
Do you, oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
But
Thank you.
I still think kids are still influenced by their environment as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd ever be a 100% free, tobacco-free nation?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think the tobacco companies are way too powerful still.
Especially in this country.
Yeah. And it's hard for people to quit. It's really hard.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Ed. I'm 41 and I've been smoking for about 25 years. So,
That's a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time.
That's a very long time.
Right.
Any particular brands that you do smoke?
Marlboro Red for the most part.
Is that
It's always been Marlboro.
Marlboro? Do any of the ads have any effect of you buying that particular brand?
Not really. Well, it depends on if sometimes you like to get the coupons. If you can get the coupons. I switched to Marlboro Blacks for a while, and that was because they're like $1 less a pack, something like that. But I went back to the Reds eventually. So I think I prefer the taste, I guess.
So you trust that brand then too?
Right, yeah, Marlboro.
What's your feelings on Proposition 56 that just passed?
The $2 hike?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of been one of the reasons why I thought about quitting smoking. Mm-hmm. I had a doctor that gave me the patch, and it didn't work for me. I think it was too much nicotine in the body because it was giving me very lucid nightmares. Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy, like every night. So I quit. Then she prescribed me Chantix. So I'm on that now.
Great.
Yeah, and I can notice a decrease in smoking. I'm down to like 5 or 6 a day or something like that.
How much were you smoking before?
About a pack and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that much, Ed.
Yeah. When I used to drink a lot, I'd smoke more. It'd be like 2 packs a day.
Oh, man.
Right.
Were you in and out being sick or anything? Do you notice like having bronchitis or any other health issues?
When I get a cold, it hits my lungs very hard. I mean, it's like it's almost like having walking pneumonia every time I get a cold because my lungs fill up with that crap, that fluid. Yeah, it's miserable.
So the pictures that I showed you of those 2 ads, the one about the American Spirits, they say that they're organic. Do you believe that?
I don't believe it, no. Well, yeah, they're organic as in they grow on a bush. Yeah, the tobacco does, but as far as not being healthier for you, I don't believe that. No. I did try vape a couple of years ago when it was starting to get really big, and it made me feel like I always had like somebody sitting on my chest or something like that. It was like a heavy coating or something that leaves in your lungs, and I ran by my doctor one time. I said, well, I'm thinking about just switching over to vaping full time and instead of smoking cigarettes, and they said it's just as bad for you, if not worse, because you're filling your lungs up with a vapor, and you get pneumonia a lot easier that way. So yeah.
Did the vape have nicotine in it?
Oh yeah.
It did.
Yeah, flavored with nicotine, and it's got really strong vape liquid, with a lot of nicotine, and then it gets,
It kind of simmers. It goes down a little.
Yeah, they
lower.
got lighter stuff, but.
Do you think it was as much as buying cigarettes, or more expensive?
No, well, it depends on how much you vape. I mean, I know people that vape like crazy going down. I mean, they always have the vape in their hand. And they pay. Yeah, it's probably maybe $60 a week in the liquid stuff.
How much do you pay for cigarettes a week?
Maybe 20,
20? Oh, that's
25,
not bad.
something like that.
Do you buy one pack a week, or do you do like a carton?
Well, no, I do like one pack a day, but I usually buy them like 3 or 4 at a time. So it's like, I don't know why I don't just get a carton, because it'd save $1 or $2.
But not a whole lot.
But I
so.
think that I'm holding on to wanting to quit, so maybe I'm thinking if I buy a carton, I won't finish them, and then I end up wasting the money. So
Absolutely. I
go
can
2,
see where
3
they're
at a
going.
time, yeah.
Or they'll go stale.
Right.
So save yourself some money.
Exactly.
And then you're trying to get yourself healthy, which is great.
Right.
So, but yeah, thank you for your information, Ed. Really appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Marie Mizzetti. I'm a registered nurse. I start.
How long were you smoking for, Marie?
I was smoking heavily. I would say 13 years. I stopped when I was 31 years old.
How old were you when you started?
I was about 18.
18.
I will say that starting at about age 14, we had the odd cigarette in the, in the shed and hidden around, behind the house, my friends and I, because in those days it was very cool to smoke. It was the in thing to do.
What year did you grow up in?
I was born in 47. In the 50s, everybody smoked in those days, and in the early 60s, we started fooling around with cigarettes. And by the time I would say, second year of nursing training, I was probably smoking very heavily. And I was a heavy smoker.
Really heavy smoker?
Very heavy smoker. And the only time I didn't have a cigarette in my mouth was when I was sleeping or working.
Did you ever see any doctors or nurses ever smoke in the hospitals?
Everybody smoked in the hospitals up until the early 80s. It was accepted. The doctors had ashtrays. They would do their charting, and they would be smoking as they charted in the charts in those days, because it was all, paperwork in those days. Now it's all computerized. But nurses smoked. We smoked in the tea room or wherever. Patients smoked. It was accepted. They had ashtrays. The only place they didn't smoke was in the pulmonary wards because of the oxygen, and oxygen's flammable. However, I would say more than once, I knocked on the door to the bathroom and it was calling out the patient's name on oxygen, and it was probably, usually they were from World War One in the 60s or World War Two, and they'd be smoking in the toilet.
With their oxygen?
With the oxygen, and how we didn't have a few blow-ups, I'll never know. But they would go against the doctor's orders, and these are people with emphysema, heart trouble, terrible respiratory problems, and they would not stop, because it's true, nicotine is very addictive, extremely mentally and physically addictive.
When you were growing up smoking, Marie, did you ever have, the advertisements ever have an effect on you smoking?
Oh, heavens, yes. We loved the advertisements. The Marlboro man was gorgeous.
He was nice to look
I was
at.
a Marlboro smoker, and probably because of him. Devoted Marlboro smoker.
And then, what country are you from originally, Marie?
I'm from Australia.
How much is a pack of cigarettes in Australia?
2 cigarettes in Australia is $22. They're all unmarked. A lot of them have very grisly photos, pictures I should say, of lungs, people dying of cancer, emphysema. They're very, very graphic photos on the cigarettes. They don't want you to smoke anymore. They've made it very difficult to smoke. I used to buy cigarettes at the airport to take to Australia duty free back in the day. This last trip I couldn't, because now there's also an embargo you can only take 2 packs per person, not a carton. They're trying to stop you from even bringing them into the country. So it's times have changed, and everybody knows that it's bad for you. We know, the jury's in now. We all know how bad smoking is, but even so, a lot of people my age with very bad disease still smoke, and unfortunately, a lot of the young people take up smoking for whatever reason. Back in my day, it was very cool. Everybody smoked. The doctors would say to the patient, "Oh, you're getting nervous with your kids." They'd often tell the ladies, "Take up smoking. You'll relax. It'll relax you. Your kids are getting on your nerves. Smoke. It'll calm you down." Totally the opposite to today. And we all know how bad it is, but people still smoke.
What made you stop smoking?
I was getting bronchitis a lot, and my doctor at UCLA where I worked told me either stop smoking or get a new doctor. I was very angry with him. He was a lovely man, lovely Dr. Winters. I got really angry, stomped out. About 3 days later, I realized, that guy's right. I'm going to have emphysema. I'm going to really have a problem. So I tried just cutting down, and that was a joke. So before long, I quit cold turkey. I wasn't good. I was nasty for about 6 months, because I do believe the real smokers are addicted to nicotine. It was horrible, but I did it. For many years, I didn't touch a cigarette, and now the last several years, I have 2 a year. One on my birthday in June and one at Christmas. And I gotta tell you, I love them. I love it.
Christmas is coming.
I only allow myself 2 a year, and that's what I do.
All right. Any other information?
I think maybe some of the young ones, if they took them to a postmortem and show the young ones when they cut open a lung, like I've seen, and see how black it is inside, and show them maybe perhaps more graphic details of a person on oxygen, struggling for breath. Maybe some of the young ones might not take up smoking, but I'm not convinced that it would be the panacea and stop all young ones, because human nature is human nature. And young people feel invincible, and they don't believe that it's gonna happen to them.
Thank you for your time, Marie.
You're very welcome.
Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
Daniel Nelson.
How long have you been smoking, Dan?
Off and on for 15 years.
Do you have a particular brand that you like to smoke?
Marlboro Lights.
Marlboro Lights. Do you think looking at advertisements have helped you wanting to smoke, or something else?
I've hardly even noticed that they exist at all. I've seen them in magazines, but I just breathe right by them. But, to me, they have no effect on me at all.
Do you think you'd ever stop smoking?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Going to very soon. For the 3rd time.
That's all right. That's all right. It took me a long time to stop smoking as well. It's very hard. It's nicotine. Do you find yourself smoking when you're stressed out or work, or just kind of out of boredom?
All of the above.
All of the above.
I am a pretty heavy smoker for sure.
How many packs of cigarettes can you go through a week?
Probably 12 a week.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And do you buy just packs by themselves, or do you cartons?
Usually 2 packs at a time.
2 packs at a time. Okay, we're going to talk about Proposition 56,
Okay.
the one that will raise the $2 tax on e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes. What's your feelings on that?
I'm against it. Obviously, it's too late. It past, but basically my feelings are that it adversely affects the poor because throughout history we have always had vices, we've always had alcohol, tobacco, drugs, whatever it is. A certain percentage of the population is going to use any of these, different vices to get by, and a large percentage of that is going to be tobacco and cigarettes. People are always going to smoke. You're never going to get rid of it. No matter how much money you try to charge, people are going to smoke. So you have a $2 a pack tax to somebody that's barely squeaking by, just trying to feed their family or just trying to pay rent. They're still going to smoke, and then the stress of this money is going to make them want to smoke more even. It's going to put a huge tax on their life and potentially, make them homeless or not be able to eat that day or just put a huge burden on them. Whereas the rich person that smokes $2 a pack they're not going to even feel it. They're not going to even know it's there. They're going to continue smoking. It's not going to make them quit smoking one bit at all. So, really, all it's doing is hurting the poor people. And what it will do is create a black market, like they have in New York, heavily, where people go state to state, crossing state lines with huge amounts of cigarettes to sell them because they can get them for half the price
I had
across
no
state
idea.
lines. So people will go to Nevada, get them for $40 a carton, come over here and sell them for $100 a carton.
Wow.
And I don't know, it's just, I don't see any good out of it other than the money that will create for the state, but what about the people that it'll hurt?
No, that's good. Well, what I've learned in my class too is like in the early 20s, so it used to be for rich white people, and now it's going back that way too.
Yep.
Thank you for your time. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I've been smoking on and off for 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 12 when I started.
Another young one.
Yes, it all started, we would roll up paper and light it in the hideout in the backyard. And we thought it was so cool. And then we had a friend who, her grandpa was a big smoker, so we'd steal cigarettes. And I remember those were Marlboro 100s. And we'd hack our brains out, and we just thought we were the coolest things. So, on and off.
On and off. Have advertisements have an influence on you, Michelle?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Never.
Like, do you ever flip through them in magazines and just kind of go right past it?
Oh yeah, I'll go right past it. Yeah, well, I think about just kind of bullshit they are. A cigarette's supposed to make you look like this, or it's gonna define you having a great time laughing with your friends, like you do in the bar or wherever they are. It's just stupid. It's not gonna make me smoke Newports or anything. It's usually Newports. I swear. I don't want a Newport.
It's true.
I'm not about
It's
that.
true. You know menthol cigarettes for you.
No, I hate menthols.
What kind of cigarettes are you smoking right now?
Camel Lights.
Is that your go-to cigarette?
Yes. It was always Camel Filters, but now it's Camel Lights.
Camel Lights.
That tells me it's better for some reason.
Personally to your own? Or does it say like any certain words? Like does it say organic?
No, not at all. It's just Camel Lights, but I guess mentally it's better than the regular ones, right? Throw a color on it or whatever. Camel Blues. So,
Pretty.
Yeah. So, yes, camels, always camels.
Always camels. How many packs do you go through a day?
Actually, no, I would say it's about a pack every 5 days, 6 days.
That's not terrible.
No, not at all.
That's not good.
Yeah, I'm
That's not-
decreasing.
Sorry. That's good.
Okay, yeah,
That's good.
It's like I said, I've been doing it for 20 years, so I notice a pattern. I'll be very heavily into it, and then I'll kind of start phasing out, and everyone says, "Oh, quit." I'm like, just give me time, and I naturally kind of just do it myself. I know it's stupid, but nicotine is too.
Absolutely. So you had stopped for a little while. How long did you stop for?
It was 2007 when I got pregnant, so I didn't smoke for a good 5-6 years. And then I pick it up again, and I go for a couple of months. I usually get a pretty gnarly upper respiratory. Therefore, I didn't want to smoke because it hurt so much, or I was coughing all that bullshit up. So I'd stop. And, I'll never do it again. Oh, sure enough. Go drinking, go to the bars or whatever, and I can be in a room full of cigarettes, and I love the smell. Ex-smokers can't be around it, or just people that aren't smokers can't be around it. No, not me. I love it. I love the smell of it on the clothes. Something I'll always have.
Um, do you find yourself ever like truly quitting eventually?
I couldn't even. I have no clue.
That's all right.
I am gonna quit again. I already know I am. Like I said, I'm already in the process of doing as such. So I will move past it. But ever like fully quit? I don't know.
That's all right.
No. Give me a stressful event and I'm back on it again.
Thank you, Michelle, for your time. Hi.
Hi, my name's Dee Dee Booth. I smoked for over, I think, 43 years. Yeah, I started at a very early age, around 8.
You are my youngest one who started smoking. Did you have particular brands, Dee Dee?
Winston.
Winston.
That was what my mother smoked, so that was what was in the house.
Do advertisements have an effect on you smoking cigarettes when you did?
I don't remember advertisements as a kid. I just remember everybody in the house smoked.
And that was kind of like what you saw, I'm going to do it too.
No, I had a sister 3 years older than me that was smoking at an early age, and so I wouldn't tell on her. She got me to smoke.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find yourself getting sick a lot or anything?
Oh my gosh, every time I get a cold, it turned into bronchitis. I would wheeze really bad. In the morning, I'd cough for about 2 hours. And of course, you hear this very deep voice, which is not as deep as it used to be. And I don't have the wheezing and the coughing anymore.
Yay. How long have you stopped smoking now?
6 years, August 26th this
Awesome.
year.
Congratulations. Did you do this cold turkey or did you have medications that helped you?
Cold turkey.
Congrats. That's very, very hard. Do you still feel like you want to smoke sometimes?
If I could get away with smoking a cigarette to this day, I would smoke a cigarette.
But what stops you?
I have a 6-year-old granddaughter that's more important than cigarettes to me.
Absolutely. And then Proposition 56 just passed in our state of California. It raises cigarettes and e-cigarettes by $2. Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think it'll help people from stop smoking?
I don't think I voted for it, but I don't think it'll stop people because cigarettes in other countries are a lot more and they still buy them.
Absolutely.
It's an addiction.
Yes. Anything else you'd like to add?
I would like to add, if you've never smoked, don't start. And if you smoke, for God's sakes, quit.
Thank you, Dee Dee.
You're welcome.